Hi, my name's Matt Fitzgerald. I'm a 23-year-old product design graduate from Loughborough University and also love to ride a plank of wood. This is my Skate Dots proposal for the City Mill Skate project about the design and building of skateable architecture on the UCL campus. This presentation covers my design process, some case studies, some location scouting and a final proposal. If you're familiar with City Mill Skate's work, you'll know that their top-level project aims are, for number one, skateable architecture, number two, they want to challenge perceptions of university life, number three, build a diverse community of skateboarders, and number four, use social activation workshops to utilise the space effectively for the skateboarders. This design specification was created using Esther Sayer's work. Number one, it has to be fun to skate for a range of users. I mainly focused on different skill levels. Number two, it has to engage the public with skate.users users in a positive manner, as often skateboarders and the public can butt heads. And number three, it has to create a series of interlinked architectural punctuations akin to a sculpture trail. One of the first ideas that gained traction in my design process was the idea of incorporating yellow slappy curbs into the skate dots. Slappy curbs don't require ollies, especially if you design them to have a nice gentle slant so beginners can rock onto them, but they're also still really fun for experienced skaters like myself. So I started playing around with the idea of defining the edges of the skate dot using yellow curbs whilst having the main obstacle, like the benches seen above, in the middle. This way, experienced skaters can session the main obstacle in the middle alongside beginner skaters sessioning the yellow curbs right next to them. Having the yellow curbs also creates a design language for the public to understand this new form of skate spot. Don't sit on the bench between the yellow curbs, that's a skate dot. I love the idea of incorporating grass into the skate dot. Grinding a bench is one thing, but grinding a bench over a grass gap is much more exciting and turns the skate dot more into a street spot. I also love the way it can visually link the skate dot to an area of open grass where the public can sit. Having this visual link between the skate dot and the public seating could really help promote positive public engagement. I played around with the idea of creating little skate dot islands. The idea being that the yellow curbs would create design language that can link one island to the next, essentially creating a flow for the sculpture trail. One of my favourite ideas is to take the traditionally flat slappy curb and bring it to life, turning it into rainbow rails, pole jams, flat bars, and even things that take you over grass gaps. So after about 30 pages of sketches and playing around with a lot of ideas, I came to a proposed format that each skate dot could follow. As you can see from the bird's eye view diagram, this consists of two yellow curbs defining the area. In between those two yellow curbs is the main obstacle of the skate dot, and one of the sides of that obstacle is a grass gap. This grass then leads out into a public seating area. Not only is the slappy curb over the grass gap fun in general for skateboarders, but specifically for beginner skaters, they could learn to slappy grind on the yellow curb, and doing the same trick, the same skill, they can then take that to the grass gap slappy curb and have a new level of excitement taking it over the grass gap without having to learn more skills. One of the key project aims is to build a diverse community of skateboarders. Recently I was lucky enough to go session Dean Lane for a couple of days with my mates in Bristol, getting to know the locals and soaking it all in. Dean Lane is known for having a strong skateboard community. This primarily revolves around the Dean Lane hardcore crew. The Nothing Meaner Dean Lane skate park documentary on the Thrasher channel echoes my own personal experience. That is, a DIY grassroots movement of skateboarders are the key foundation to a solid community. So I would like to propose the idea of a social activation society called the Yellow Curb Club. The primary focus of the Yellow Curb Club is to create DIY skate dot workshops. This way, the local community can decide what they want to skate because they'll be building it. Them building the ramps together is a bonding experience and will create a solid community like at Dean Lane. If they know how they're built, they'll know how to maintain them, and this will lower the running costs. And this would also create unique ramps, hand-built by the local community, with the aim of the public finding it more akin to a sculpture trail than another skate park facility. Other features of the Yellow Curb Club can include skateboard lessons, organised weekly sessions, fundraising events for DIY materials or relevant charities, competitions, skate movie nights, and more. Our second case study is of the Glasgow Transport Museum. They have these perfect benches out front skaters always used to grind, but they got in the way of the public. Rather than hiring security or putting skate stops on them, they took a different approach. They provided a better skate spot at the back of the museum to draw the skaters away from the public's path. Instead of creating something totally new, they chose to hack the existing landscape. The aim of this was to create a place rather than a sports facility. This is what makes Riverside a cool place to be and not just another skate park built by a local authority. I used Google Earth to find all these possible skate dot locations below, of which I'll now show you a few. Marshgate Bank has established public seating right opposite an unused green space. Pool Street Bank is a large open area with green unused space. These two spots are actually visible from each other across the river. This is really nice because this visual link could help promote the idea of a sculpture trail to the public and skateboarders. This hill looks perfect for a snake run to me. Snake runs can be rolled down by beginners or they can be slashed at and grinded by experienced skaters. This spot in East Bank is under a bridge and could be perfect for those rainy days. So now I'm going to talk you through the concept of my skate dot proposal and finish with a summary of all the key points of this presentation. So UCL would build something like this. This is the skate dot canvas. This consists of two yellow slappy curbs defining the edges of the area. One of these slappy curbs goes over a grass gap, which this grass gap leads out into public seating. And the key is that the local community will be building the ramp that goes in the centre of this skate dot canvas. Different skate dot canvases could be built with different yellow curbs. Some could be really wacky, from wiggly curves over grass gaps to pole jams, flat rails and rainbow rails. So the local community would look at this, get together, and in the middle build things like benches or mani pads, or whatever their heart desires. A slappy curb going over a hill sounds so exciting to me, and this also provides a large amount of bulk material in the centre of the skate dot for the local community to carve out and build bigger, more interesting and more exciting ramps out of. A few possible examples being this kicker gap, a pyramid, kickers with hubbers, or even transition elements such as quarter pipes. These are just a few ideas I've modelled and rendered in a couple of hours, but imagine what a community of creative skateboarders could come up with. They could create something really unique, something that could be a talking point for the public to see it not just as another skateboard facility, but as a unique hand-built sculpture. So my skate dot proposal is to number 1, define skate dots using the yellow curbs. Number 2, place them in areas of interest to hack the existing landscape. Number 3, use DIY workshops to let the local community build the ramps, in turn building the local community. And number 4, incorporate grass into the skate dots to link them to the public seating, creating a place rather than a sports facility. Thank you for listening, really appreciate it. This presentation really just scratches the surface on what's possible for these skate dots and in terms of what my design skills can bring to the table. Skate parks and skateboarding have brought more meaning, more friendship and more adventure to my life than anything else. I'm looking to build a career in skate park design, and that's why this project makes me so excited. If there's any way to please be involved, then definitely let me know. And while we're here, may as well give a shout out to my boys at Legacy Skate Store, suppliers of the finest garments and skateboarding technology. Go check them out, www.legacyskatestore.co.uk. Please feel free to contact me. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated, whether it's positive or critical. I'm really looking to develop my skills as a designer. My CV and portfolio are available on request. Thank you for listening.